Hi, everyone, and welcome to Cannesversations. I'm Stephanie Beach, and I'm very excited to be here at AWNY today. And I have the pleasure of speaking to Brittany Lo, who is the founder and CEO of Beia Beauty. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
I'm so excited to be here with you. I know we're day one and it's very early, but I really appreciate the time. I have a little questions I'd love to talk to you about the industry, and then just like how are you finding the conference and how are things getting along? Is that cool?
Sounds great.
Awesome. So let's dive into some of the heavy stuff. You go with that?
Let's do it.
Great. How are multicultural communities changing the way consumers are consuming and connecting with each other? And what should brands be doing as a result?
Okay, so in terms of multicultural, I think it's so important when people can relate to what they're consuming or seeing or viewing. And so to be able to see more references of people who look like them, have part of their rituals or culture that they're seeing in these different mediums, I think is the way that we're seeing those brands really win.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's really important for people to be able to resonate with a brand.
Yeah.
Right? Especially like a beauty brand like you have, right? You want people to be like, oh, they have my foundation color. Or, oh, like they have a scent that I like. Or this person looks like me and I know that this makeup will look good on me. Or whatever it might be.
I think that's almost like the baseline these days is initially like being inclusive and like catering to different ethnicities used to be like, oh, that's so cool. Now it's like if you're not, you really shouldn't launch unless you have a very clear point of view of what community you are targeting. And so especially with beauty, I think the beautiful part is there's so many people, myself included, who are of like multiple ethnicities, and to be able to find undertones or skin tones or just products that really work on you, that's what brands in the future and as we evolve really need to see in order for a brand to be successful.
I agree. And I think that that's a fabulous answer to that question. The other thing is retail media, right? And that is huge in our industry. It's really a big deal right now. So how do you feel it's changing the way that consumers shop? And what's the key to making it successful in your marketing plan?
So I think what's interesting is like a decade ago, you were so reliant on certain retailers in order to be able to hit certain revenue benchmarks. Now anyone can start a beauty brand or any kind of consumer brand with very little money, which I love. Like you can easily make a Shopify website with one of their free template themes and be making sales right on there. Or you can be going on TikTok or social media and be able to build a community. And what we're seeing even more so now is instead of seeing the retailer as that end all and be all, they really want to see you have that community through these other channels before you enter retail.
It's really important. And I tell a lot of the brands that I work with that all of the time. You need credibility, you need trust, you need a community. Yeah, you need people to see what you're doing and believe in it.
Yeah, and like have people who like, whether you're being sold here or here, they're going to follow you.
Right, exactly. And, another hot topic is AI. So how can we use AI to connect with people on a more deeper level with messaging and what we're able to produce now and all the tools that are out there? How do you think that we could still keep that connection while utilizing artificial intelligence?
Well, at least for us, when it comes to like ChatGPT or certain AI platforms, whether it's creating different like media assets or more importantly, like understanding like a brand voice and being able to resonate with the messaging. Like, for example, Beia, my company, we're right now going through like a remessaging, and to be able to utilize AI to tweak and really make sure like, hey, here's the demographic and here's who our customer base is. How do we refine the messaging to truly resonate with this audience? You're able to do way better with, at least I can, with AI than me trying to write up like different like copy for different platforms or a website.
Yeah, I think like the possibilities are endless. It's just that you still need that human element.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think that's where you're seeing like in real life and digital, like you're seeing, you want both of that. Like you want to be able to translate an online community into in real life events, but also like building a brand, at least for us, I find is so important to build in real life. And then they're going to translate into building the online audience as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings me to authenticity, right? So, it's a word we hear a lot in this industry. It's a word that I feel like gets overused sometimes and almost loses like substance.
Or like, what does it mean? Is it a vague term?
It gets very vague, exactly. So what do you think it really means to be authentic in your marketing? to a diverse audience, and how are brands just like avoid going through the motions?
When we think about authenticity, even as like a brand founder or as an individual, like what does that mean? It's like no matter who you're with or what environment you're in, can you really show up, like sharing your values and sharing who you are, where you're just so unapologetically you. And with brands, I think sometimes we see so many trends of different products coming out, or this brand's doing this. And so it's really about like, who are we as a brand and what makes sense for us, even if it's not like the most popular product or trend out there right now. Versus when you start chasing what's popular in the moment, you're never going to get that true authenticity. And with the consumers today, they're so knowledgeable, they can sense it out in a second.
They can. And I think that's where that connection comes back into play. And that's what really makes it so important. And I have a couple of rapid fires for you.
Tell me. Okay.
All right. So it's this or that.
Okay.
All right. AI or humans?
Humans.
Short form or long form video?
Short form.
First party or third party data?
First party.
CTV or social commerce?
Social commerce.
Okay. Overrated or underrated? AI as a creative partner?
Underrated.
The death of the third party cookie?
Overrated.
And I was like, over influencer marketing?
I feel like neither.
Okay.
Depends.
Middle?
It's in the middle.
Okay.
It can be.
How about podcasting as a part of the marketing fight?
Under.
All right. And now we have two last questions. Really, you want to know, how do you make these connections last? We're at these conferences. You get so many people. We're talking to so many different people about different things. What is your best piece of advice for navigating a conference like AWNY?
So we've talked about authenticity, and I think that whether you, like, not everyone's great in big settings, but you'll find what you are really good at and just like lean into that. So maybe it's like for example, whenever I meet someone, like I'll ask them questions about themselves, and that helps remove the guard and get to know that person. But when you do your follow-ups, remember those notes. Like maybe someone's daughter's third birthday party is this weekend. So when you follow up, you're like, hey, I hope you have a great time at your daughter's birthday party this weekend. And those are those human elements that you can put into these follow-ups, will allow you to not only meet people and connect during this week, but beyond the conference.
Yes, and that's what really matters.
Yes.
Right? How do you utilize the conference to build a personal brand?
There's so much that you can learn. Like the more you can be a sponge here and just be a student, like no matter how many years of experience you may have, I think that when you learn the most is when you're just sitting and listening and learning and connecting with other people. And then from there, this is where you're ideating and gathering ideas. Maybe you're sharing some of your problems or what you're working through this week with people that you meet. And then afterwards, you can then refine and tweak your personal brand accordingly.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
This is so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you. Bye.